create recipes from images, so from a cookbook, or like you took a phone picture or something like that. Um, and we were able to accomplish that. So one thing that we have is, if you go to the meal plan and you can see the daily view. I like more the mobile view. I'm gonna start to work more on the mobile view. And the mobile view shows you, the day that is today, and the different recipes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the time of prepping. You can also add recipes either from the list, and I've been playing with different recipes from different languages, and all different alternatives, and it's been great. And I even started, I don't know if I showed you this, but yesterday I searched for Hungarian goulash, and I went to the images at Google, and I said I want a recipe that is old, and let me check. I think I searched. I think it's an old recipe picture, and I think it was something like this, and I found a Hungarian goulash in one of these images, and the thing that I wanted to test out was how good was the application. How good was the application is in dealing with the complexity of an old note or handwritten note. So for example, this one, that is good homemade biscuits, and this is from grandma handwritten letter. I can read it. It says good homemade biscuits, 3 cups of self-rising flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar, 2/4 of a cup of shortening, creosote, buttermilk to make soft dough, mix well, put on a ground surface, and knead until firm enough to roll out. Cut wild. I have no idea what it says. Cutter. British tops with metal. I don't have no idea. Baking hot oven 400 until golden brown. Yummy. So let's test this out. Let's see if Claude is good enough to, parse out this handwritten note and convert it to a real recipe. So yeah, let's try it out. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna upload an image, and I'm gonna select the handwritten note for the good homemade biscuits from grandma. Let's see what happens. I have no idea what is going to happen from the agent, if it's going to be able to parse out the information. Seems like it did. Let's select this and see. Let's see the recipe of good homemade biscuits. So it says 2 cups of self-rising flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar, shortening, buttermilk enough to make sourdough. Mix well, put on a flour surface and knead until firm enough to roll out. Cut on with biscuit cutter. Brush tops with melted butter. Baking oven of 400. Dude, this is fantastic. We can now put handwritten notes as structured recipes. This is fantastic. I didn't know this was possible, but for me, that's, I have a lot of handwritten notes that I can now easily, just by taking a picture, convert into structured recipes. That's fantastic. But okay, enough of what we did yesterday. Where are we going to be focusing today? People have been written like a lot of messages recently about the main, they have a lot of doubt about the capabilities of AI agents. Can the AI agents do all the tricks they said they do? Can they deal with complexity? How do you manage like making things happen when, context setting and all of that? So I thought about doing 2 things. One is I want to build a marketing page, the front page of Wendell. At this point, the front page of Wendell looks like this. It's right straight up the login page, which is kind of like, it's okay for me. But I wanted to give people more context about how Wendell has been built, the features that it has, and kind of like give more context, because when people comes in here, it's a little bit like that there's not much to be said. So I'm gonna kind of tell the AI agent to send this login page to a different place, and have a non-login required page for a marketing application. And then, let me delete this so we can tell what are we going to be working on today. So the first thing we're going to be working on today is going to be a marketing page, and there is this guy, Pirate Software, that is great at doing this painting with. Oh man, I don't have any idea how he does this. I keep trying, but I think I'm gonna go back to just typing things down. At the marketing page, then we're gonna start to work on personalized recipes. Personalized recipes. And finally, I want to see if possible we can achieve a change that involves data modeling, involves refactoring, involves new APIs, involves changes in the client, and it's more comprehensive, and see if we can tackle that. So marketing is going to be about like setting up things from scratch. Personalized recipes is building around functionality we already have. And the thing that I want to do here at last is add the recipe organizer. And for recipe organizer, what I am aiming for is the idea that you can add categories and tags to your recipes so you can find them easily. So there is an easy way to go through your recipe Rolodex in a sense. I wanted to, so let's get started. So how do you normally work with these tools? You have two types of tools in Replit. That is the main application I'm using is Replit. I am actually exclusively using Replit. And what you have is that you have agents and assistants. Assistants are a little bit cheaper but have less context. They are very good at tackling very focused tasks. And you have agents that are more have more context, broader autonomy, and also can deal with large complexity. In terms of cost, before we get started, let's check how much we have spent so far here. So I'm gonna go to my account, billing, and usage, sorry. And I can see that I have spent $16.76. My usage has been mostly spent on agents and assistants. You can see the agents can add up pretty fast. Assistant requests are much cheaper. I have done 41 agent requests and 107 assistant requests. And I have spent less than $1 on compute for an auto-scaling deployment and some database storage. So overall, $16 for an application like the one we have built is not that expensive. So let's go back to the work we want to do. I've been recently talking about marketing. I've been recently being very attracted to simple to use applications, things that talk about simplicity. I think that that's a little bit of how Notion started, that you can deal with complex issues by focusing on the simplicity of the tasks. I want to see if there is any way that we can discuss the simplicity of meal planning to make it so simple and easy to manage and even if it's a recipe management plus meal planning solution, the main idea is that you can simply work with it, that you don't have to deal with overload yourself with a lot of information. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna add a little bit of the requirements. Let's see what happened here. I'm gonna be building now the marketing page. Remember that I highly recommend that you add a GitHub account. If you don't know GitHub, go to github.com and GitHub, create your own account and then give access in Replit to your GitHub account so you can create repositories. Why is that important? Is because the code that is generated inside Replit, it can be stored somewhere else. It doesn't have to be stored only in Replit. You will have another place to do it. If by any chance you want to, work with a different platform, you can start. This could be your starting point. So don't be limited by the platform you are working with. By putting your code in the generated code in your own repository. As I've mentioned before, working with applications like these AI agents, you have a lot of quote unquote dead time where you're just waiting for you're waiting for outcomes. You're waiting for the processing to finish. And during that time, I found myself a little bit just waiting, fiddling. And because I already have a track path that I want to follow, I just need to continue just waiting. So I've been thinking about watching something in the back while doing it. The thing that happens is that I can't stream things when I'm live streaming. I don't know, something happens with Netflix and other systems. So yeah. Let's see. So normally, this is something I found recently that it's been very insightful, and this is, let me talk about this while we just wait on the agent. The agent is working on its own thing, so we just let it work. The thing we have, that I have been kind of dealing with is, as I work in very large and small companies, I found out that the most complex part in a company is not their systems, is how production of work is organized, meaning how are the people organized to make things happen. And what I found is that most of the time, people are optimizing for outcomes that they don't know what they're aiming to achieve. So the why. Why are you building what you're building? Why is it important to build this now? Why is it important to build it the way that it's being built? There is a lack of first principles mentality, first principles thinking, and it's also almost frowned upon, the idea of asking the whys. But I encourage you. The good thing is that because now you are enabled to ask these questions, not only because now you have something else, a system behind you that kind of always is going to agree with you. It's always going to tell you, yes, you have to have more clarity on your thoughts. So you are not just aiming in the dark. So just a food for thought. Always be clear in communication of why are you doing what you're doing, and share that with your team. And also have it clear in your mind, so you have like a compass, a direction of what you're aiming for. It seems to me, I think that we are back at having the flows working and restructuring. Seems like there is troubleshooting that needs to be happening. Let's see when I run it, what's the problem. Let's run this and see what's going on. Okay, let's see the web view. The page is not loading yet. Optimizing dependencies. Oh, meal planning made simple. Stop stressing about what to cook. Save time and money with AI-powered meal planning that adapts to your family's needs. See how it works? Solve your daily meal planning challenges. Save time. Cut meal planning time by 80% with AI-generated personalized meal plans. Reduce costs. Save up to 20% of grocery bills by eliminating food waste and optimizing shopping lists. Nice. Eat better. Enjoy healthier, varied meals that match your dietary preferences and restrictions. Smart shopping. Generate organized shopping lists automatically based on your meal plans. Recipe variety. Access thousands of recipes and get personalized suggestions based on your preference. Easy planning. Drag and drop interfaces makes weekly meal planning a breeze. Ready to simplify your meal planning? Join thousands of families who have transformed their meal planning routine with Wendell AI. Dude, is this how marketing works? Is it marketing about lying? I mean, thousands of families have not joined Wendell AI, but this is interesting. Now we have a sign up and sign in interface working here. I love it. I think that start free trial and all of that. This is very important. Oh, we have Ben on the chat. Ben, thank you for coming by. I know you're not online anymore, but thank you for coming by. I hope this helps you, build more. I think that there is an easy way to build the Slack applications as well with these formats. So yeah. Oh, look at this. Look at this new thing. I didn't know that. You can Replit getting smarter. Is it that this costing them more? That now they're offering this? They didn't see this before. is like, do you want to spend more money or do you want to switch to assistant? I'm actually going to switch to assistant because I want to make changes to the everything is working. Yeah, it should be loading. I'm going to work with the assistant because I want to change the copies. I'm trying to keep this real, you know. I don't want to have a thing. Let's improve the marketing. I don't like the made up facts. I don't like that, you know, it's made up facts. Yeah, I like that, you know, it tells the story as it is. Okay. Preview changes. The care of our art is our most ancient and most worthy, after all, our most pleasingly responsibility. Wendell Berry, an open source meal planning assistant built with AI, inspired by the philosophy of mindful living and sustainable food practices. I'll create that. I love that. A different approach to meal planning. Join our growing community, an open source project combining AI technology with mindful meal planning principles. Get started. Open source project inspired by Wendell Berry. Oh, I don't like the part. I'm gonna apply this all, but I'm gonna say I have no idea where that quote from Wendell Berry is coming from. So let's see if that exists actually, and it's not some made up. Uh, yeah, ecological poetry. Okay. Oh, jeez, no, I don't want to go there. Yeah, one of those. I think that there is one that says that. It was inspired by him. Let's say, see what happens. GitHub Replit. It's adding to Replit. Go to Replit. I'll need to update that later on. And to the YouTube Replit official. I love it. It thinks. Okay. I'm gonna play it. That was funny. It thinks it's done by Wendleberry. Sorry, by Replit. That was funny. Let's check the changes and see how this is working. I hate the diffs being open. These things should be closed when the checkpoint is made. A note for the Replit people, if you're looking. Yeah, delete, close the freaking, have a setting so the diffs close automatically. I hate to have to close the freaking diffs all the time. Mindful meal planning. Yes, Wendell. The care of the earth is our most ancient and most worthy, after all, our most pleasing responsibility. Yes. An open source meal planning assistant built with AI, inspired by Wendell Berry's philosophy of mindful living and sustainable food practices. Different approach to meal planning. This is great. Mindful planning. Plan meals with intention, reducing waste and connecting with your food choices. Yes. Family focus. Create plans that consider everyone's needs and preferences. AI powered. Leverage AI to help organize and suggest recipes while maintaining personal touch. Shopping lists, smart planning, time aware. Plan ahead and make cooking fit your schedule. Grow or join our growing community. An open source project combining AI technology with mindful principles. Open source project built in public. Love that. And then we need to add like I'm gonna say the project is built in public by Balboa. The GitHub link is, where's my GitHub link? And the YouTube link is, let's find my YouTube link. Where is my channel's link? I don't remember. I think it's Balboa, but your channel, yeah. Let's share this here. Let's see if it adjusts accordingly. And I'll say that we might need to change the hierarchy. I like the quote from Barry, but I'll say let's put it below. Yeah. I think this is called the hero. Okay, what happened here? Smart replayers. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I love the part, but let's skip. I mean, I like the idea of talking about growing community and all of that, but yeah. Let's apply all and see. I think that with this, this will be enough to call it out and say, okay, marketing is done. There is a, oh, there you go. I like that. Why Wendell? Keep it simple. There you go. This is fantastic. Yes, I agree. Sold. This is done. How does this look on mobile? Let's check it out. The smart, yeah, I love the idea of a join now right there. Create an account. This is fantastic. Open source. Yes, keep. Oh, what? Why the? What the? Okay. He said that the links were gonna be changed. What happened? What happened? I didn't apply it? Let's rerun this. What? I mean, I like Replit, but I don't wanna give it credit, but not credit is due. Come on. Let's be sure about it. Okay. This is great. So now that we have worked on a chunk of work, remember what we did. We started with an agent to kind of like solve for the big picture, and then we came back to the assistant and to solve the minor things, right? So remember, agent, big things, assistant, small things, very focused. I'm terrible at marketing. That's not something, I've been trying to get better at, but it's not my forte. So, or forte. What I want to do is, now that I have this, I'm going to redeploy it. And why I am doing this is because, you might not be building personal software like I'm building. I'm building this for me and my family. And if you want to use it, like, help yourself. But, I am the primary user of this application. And what I have, though, is that I have people asking me, like, but what is it exactly? Why are you doing this? What is it inspiring you? What are you aiming for? So I said, okay, I'm going to put the marketing page. So the questions are answered there. But remember, this is an exercise. My exercise is how far and how deep can we use AI agents to build things for us. Another thing I want to share today as a side quest is that I decided to use a tool called, let me share the tool with you. I'm trying it today, called Opus Pro. And Opus Pro allows you to create shorts for YouTube Shorts or TikTok or any other platforms, Instagram Reels. And what you have is that you have this free version that is going to automatically generate clips from long content. And, so far I created like a whole set, a lot of tools, a lot of clips. Most of them are really bad because my stream is not optimized for clips. But this is all AI generated. I didn't have to change anything. It's all written by AI. The clips are cut by AI. And some are very decent, some are really bad. But overall, this was free. And if I wanted to get more credits to cut more, like, I can pay $14 per month and I'll get, or $15 per month, and I'll get 150 credits. 150 credits is more or less, hours, 2 hours, 3 hours of videos, and I can auto post and check captions and virality. So I can have an editor, take this over, and a social media manager can just do this work pretty easily. So I'm gonna start to see if I take advantage of that to share like the golden nuggets that I find as I stream, but we will see. Overall, looks great. Let's deploy this. So now when we click on redeploying, what we're doing is sending everything that we have in master or main to be deployed on our production system. One thing that I wanted to ask, what is this no mode? Oh, Easter egg. What I wanted to test out was like having some sort of test environment. The deployments that happen are like going through, a single specific application, a single specific environment. Sorry, I got distracted. And I don't like that. I would love to have this go through maybe 2 other environments. So this single environment approach, only master or only main, a single branch kind of approach is not, I don't like it that much. You can check resource utilization. Everything looks okay. Let's see if the deployment is done, and we can start to focus on our next task for the day. And next thing, so marketing is done. We work on personalized recipes. And what personalized recipes is about? Oh, interesting. What's happening here? Okay. Personalized recipes is that when I created this idea of a family dashboard, is that you can have different people in your family, ages, and dietary preferences, and you can use this to influence your meal planning, right? So both recipe creations or or meal planning. If you said like, okay, I have to do meal planning for 3 people, or I have to do it just for myself, it's going to be easier to find recipes, track recipes, and work with other things if you have these clear dietary preferences in your house. That's for us. I have a family member that has dietary preferences exclusively that we need to account for. So we are, I need to make sure that that's happening correctly. So the main idea here is I'm going to use the agent to start with. Before that, I'm going to add a new chat because I want to the thing that I'm doing now, before I get started with a minor refactor, is that I ask the agent to make sure that it puts documentation in text about the functionality that we have in there. So it says the family dashboard provides functionality to manage family members and their dietary preferences. Each family member can have multiple dietary preferences and different types. Data structure, dietary preferences, integration with meal planning. The family member dietary preferences are used to filter recipe suggestions during meal planning and highlight potential conflicts when adding recipes to meal plans. Guide AI recipe generation to accommodate dietary restrictions. There are the APIs, the dietary preferences, and the UI components. So now that we have this information, what I want to do, what we want to work with is that during the meal planning, and I don't like this dashboard view. I think that I like that it's today's meal. I think that we should actually land here on the current plan for today. We should land actually here on today. What are you doing today? We should not be, we should not be dealing with other things. Additionally, what I see is that in mobile, I cannot see the other options. So I might need to, I want to fix this. So let's create another chat. And let's say a mobile view hides the items, the nav items. Oh, interesting. Mobile navigation. Let's apply and see how that navigation works. The code, as always, I like to see it, here and there, but I actually don't care that much. What it's doing is adding a drop-down menu that is going to be hidden, but that when the mobile application, it's in working for phones, it just expands. So let's wait for this to reload. See. What? Okay, I'm gonna tell it that after you log in, make the meal planner the default page when you join. I think it makes things much easier and easy to deal with. I don't like this card view. Even this thing that is inside a card should not be there. Yeah, this whole background card thing. Look how things get much nicer to work with, you know. And then the weekly view, and the weekly view, well, you deal with the week. Can I do the drag and drop now? I can do I can't do drag and drop, but I can actually see planner for today. Okay, I'm gonna update something. I'm okay with this side menu. That's okay. I can also see the list of recipes and shopping list here, but I haven't worked on it yet. I will work on that. But I'm gonna add a search box on the recipes and a filter. And the other thing that I will do is currently recipes don't have any dietary preferences kind of baked into it. What we can do is, you know, I might think of adding some vector search to do add rack capabilities, so that when you add new recipes, those are added to a vector database that then the agent can consult before and give me, like if I search for, give me all recipes that have you know, that are keto. I can tag recipes as they come in, but I'll rather have the agent just search through the recipes ingredients and find out the ones that don't have or match that. So I don't like this view, so I'm gonna set that actually just after logging go directly to the meal planner. Okay, so I'll say okay, so I'm gonna make a pause for a minute or for like the next 15-20 minutes. Oh, What? Isn't it? Did it delete my streaming pages? Do I need to be logged in? Get to my streaming pages. Yes, I need to be logged in to go to my. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of a break and I'll be right back. What? It's not picking up. Not picking it up. Interestingly. Okay. Now it's picking it up. Oh, okay. Interesting. There you go. There you go. There you go. I'm back online. Yes. Great. So thank you for connecting back again after a short, actually kind of long break. I am at this point ready to move forward on our project, on this project about the meal planner, smart meal planner. The goal, remember, the goal of this tooling that I'm building is not just to build an app. I mean, I'm building an app for a problem I have. And what I want you to understand is the power of personalized programming, meaning that now the problems can be solved on, you can solve it on your own. Things I've noticed, still takes a long time to solve the problem. It takes a long time to make sure that you have everything in place. The more details you want to add, the more time it's going to take to solve the problem. If what you want is a very specific, very intuitive and easy to work solution, you will be able to accomplish that by yourself in a very limited time. The moment you start to add complexity, I think that starts to make projects a little bit harder to maintain with LLM agents. You have to have context, and you have to have a way to keep putting more context into the LLM to work. And that's what we're going to test today on this session. On this session, what we want to do is personalized recipes. And this is the challenge with these personalized recipes is I see a couple of things. First is that we're going to be working with data modeling, and by we I mean we're going to tell the LLM to do it. The next thing is that we're going to be working with suggestions and tagging and a suggestions algorithm, and I think suggestions with double G. And lastly, we're going to see if that can be embedded into the recipe creation or recipe selection. Creation and selection. Then, so the first thing then is I'm gonna kind of bring this into the context of the agent and see, what it comes up with. So remember that we have an agent. The agent is a little bit more expensive than the assistant. It can gather and deal with better context. So let's use that. So let's get started. The thing we are going to be doing today is I want that family members can be optionally considered into meal planning for a meal, a day, or the whole week, with a configuration that allows me to have a default set of meals that a family member will be part of the plan. Then I want that when I add a meal to a meal or recipe to a plan, that the suggested recipes, either new or existing, consider the family preferences. How can we tackle this with our current DB schema? Should we update it? Consider reading the documents in server/agents to get better context and avoid moving existing functionality not related to this change. Feature help. Okay. One trick that I found very powerful is the creation of documentation written specifically by AI agents for their own usage in the future. I always ask the agent when it's dealing with data modeling or system-wide changes, or that are a little bit more complex to reason about, to consider the documentation that already exists to see if there is anything they can reuse. Also, that now consumes the meal planning features that we have already written down in documentation. There is another set of documentations that are the database schemas, and that's documentation as well. And in the I need to add a couple more things, but the README also might need to contain some updates. But overall, what I'm doing now since yesterday is that more and more context is added into the application in the way of documents or a knowledge graph that is much more powerful than just adding, giving the agent just the code. It gives a little bit better results. So let's go back to the agent. Now it has a plan. So I'll propose the following database schemas. Update the meal add a new table called meal participants that can contain the meal type, the day, and if is default, and then update the meal plans meals JSON structure to include the participants IDs. Then create the migrations, update the TypeScript schemas, add API endpoints, and enhance recipe suggestion logic to consider participants. Update the UI to show much. It looks great. I like this idea of a power meal suggestion based on family preferences. Let's go with this. This is gonna take, I think, the next hour. So if you're down for like a major system complexity exercise like this one, you're gonna be on for a good ride. So buckle up, because this is gonna be fun. Okay, seems like found something. It's executing the database schema. Now I says oh, interesting. Now it's putting limitations on context and chat performance. That's interesting. I imagine what behavior is Replit checking here. It seems like because these workflows start to become very expensive to run, I can imagine saying like start a new chat over and over. But this chat hasn't been that long though. I imagine that is the context that was added that makes things a little bit more complicated, but I don't feel that we need that. I'm okay. How much has it cost so far? It doesn't tell me. But I mean, how bad can it be? This is a huge change. Okay, this is great. Okay, now it's using hooks, creating family members. Restarting the application. Oh, it's interesting. There is always this part where there is some crashing and some failure. Yeah, I think more like 50% of the times there is no workflow errors. I don't know why this is like complaining about it, but we will see. Now I see the performance issues. Come on. You can think faster, robot. This is definitely a big one, because what is going to happen, and let me explain it here. Make this larger. Let me zoom in here. Let me explain it. So what you have is that you have the recipes table. Let's mark it with an R. And the recipes table has a data schema. Then you have also the meal plan. Let's call it MP. The meal plan. That also has a series of things, and these are related. They have a relationship, many to one, actually many to many relationship. And now we introduce the concept of a member, of a family member. Let's call it FM, family member. And the family member now it's related to the meal plan, but also affects the recipes that this relationship is managing. So now there is new changes in the data structure. One thing that we have is that recipes don't contain any of the descriptions of preferences, so we don't know if a recipe is keto or if it's one thing or the other. So one specific part that we will need to solve for, or the agent needs to solve for, is how would you augment this data so you can when you add a new recipe, it is automatically pre-tagged with all the kind of preferences, dietary preferences. The other thing is, like, do you even need to do that? What if instead you have a way for an agent to decide exactly if a meal should fit or not? Okay, what's going on? I created that document explaining the meal participation. Crashed the server. Let's see what the server why the server is not working. Let's run this. Let's see what the problem is. Serving on port 500. Let's refresh this. Let's see what the console says. Service unavailable. I need to fix that. But there you go. This is the problem. I can fix that. I'm gonna say continue with the UI implementation. I'm gonna add a new chat here that says this is the first time I'm running in parallel. Let's see how that goes. Okay, let's see what the assistant says. Okay. What's going on here? Just waiting. Just waiting. Just waiting. What is this? This thing is gonna cost me like $2. This is gonna be one of the expensive ones. That's for sure. This is like... I'm glad that I have time. Oh, is it looking like that? It's showing as same issue. So let's pause. The agent is paused. Let's apply these changes that are kind of related, unrelated. I will fix this. I hate that. I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna create a new assistant, new chat. I'll come back, but I'll say what's happening here. I think that this is gonna be the same problem for the next thing. That is, let's reset. What? Okay. Waiting for this to be ready. Take some time for these deployments to be ready. I'm gonna need this. What happened there? Let's see if this works. I found that this is kind of stupid. Yeah, authentication shouldn't be managed like this. I think that if this works, I'll say let's move that outside to a provider component that manages authentication, because this looks stupidly bad. Hmm. I am kind of like, I've built multiple UI systems during my tenure, multiple of different sizes, different complexities. I think in 2015-16, I was one of the first creating design systems in React. And authentication providers are always kind of like embedded inside systems. There is now here an auth provider. Let's see it. It's now kind of putting together the handle routing and in the context, and then putting this together inside the provider, removing all that complexity from there, and saying like, okay, if it's not a public route, now everything is inside that auth provider, which is more, let's say, I'll say, I'll rerun it. It would be great if I can let me apply the changes, but I'm gonna say remove removing duplication is very important on our refactoring. And remember, our journey, we're on a side quest now. Our journey is in personalized recipes. We are at this point even on a side quest outside of this. That was, we were dealing with authentication flows. This is a side quest that we took. So now we're gonna go back to this in a sec. I don't care. Let's see. With this, we should be done with authentication. Let's go back to the agent. There were some issues, some small problems that I want to manage in this case. Let's see what happens here. What I will say is, Remember that you can go to the Wendell open source project inside GitHub, and feel free to uh, get inspired by it, use it. That's okay. I don't care. What's going on? Okay. There you go. Now it's getting an error. That's fantastic. Now we have new errors. Let's share this here. Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I got something on my throat. Let's go to the meal planner. Oh, there you go. New error. Okay. How do we work with this? Again, we take this, copy it as it comes, directly. Bring it back, and a new error has appeared. Fix it up. Fix it up. That's your job. Fix it up. Personalize recipes and meal plan. That's the whole deal. At this point, the agent is paused because I want the UI to be running correctly. After the UI is running, I'm gonna ask it to give me like a short version, concise version of the work that has been done so far, and then move on to the next thing. And at this point, I'm just bug fixing the thing that was having issues. Oh, I have the same issue, but in another place. What's going on? Mill cell line 41. Where do you change this? And 34 and 61. Let's see. Mill is undefined, line 41. Okay. The big issue that we have here is that we are dealing with data structural changes, data modeling changes. At scale, it's very hard for the LLM to identify all the places that this is being used. So centralization of schemas is kind of very important. So we are changing considerably the data structures that we have defined in the past. Now the addition of a participant in a mill makes it more critical on all places where this is touched. So remember, data structures, the just addition of this family member, this participant, disrupts every other model where we're using it. In their case of recipes and meal plans, now are disrupted by the addition of this new object. And that interaction is not easy to identify for an LLM. It's not even easy for it to identify for a developer. That's why it's important that you have some sort of domain, that and schema definitions, strong typing. All of those make things better and easier to work with. Let's see if this fixes the issue. I don't like that this keeps logging me out and I need to log back in and all that. It's a little bit annoying. Jeez, keeps being undefined. Line. Yeah, you put meal there, but meal is not here. Is it here? Okay, let's see what's going on here. Let me check the data. Let's help it debug this. The response contains, you know, for the week, things that we have need. I think that recipes now have participants, right? But meal appears undefined on that cell, and And as always, it's the small details where things start to keep going. Obviously, I have to say, at this point, coding with AI is not the most efficient way of working for certain tasks. The most efficient way might be another way, like at least for debugging. I'm having another error, different error. It seems like it's from the network. No. What is that? Why am I coding? Oh man. Okay. I just went on. Jeez. Okay. I deleted the thing that I wanted to do. I think I'm gonna add a refactoring process. Love me some refactor. Nice. What is the other one? Much simpler. Much simpler. Is it still gonna work? I saw that it deleted a bunch of things I didn't need to delete. So I'll need to check that out. What could be here? Programming is a game of patience. Most of the time. Game of patience. It keeps giving me the same problem. Current meal recipe IDs is undefined. Let's see if data structures are hard for LLMs, and even more. Remember, it's easy for the APIs to change. It's very hard for the UIs to change. We have a bug now. This is just changing, and it never shows me what exactly is the change. I like the change on meal cell. Definitely is now better. Let's delete this. Again, I hate the divs. There's a bug here. Replit, there is a bug. Why the same changes appearing twice? Yep. Just me being annoying. What's going on? What's going on? Why is deleted? Undo these changes. This is something that keeps happening, is that it deletes files when it doesn't need to delete them. And I hate that. It's such a bad thing. Let's see if this makes it work. You know, I've been watching the NFL recently more than before. I used to watch before only the 49ers games. I am a 49ers fan. Yes, boo-hoo. Terrible season. Something happened with the team, but you know. But now I have to make a choice, and I am rooting for the Lions. I like how they play. They play like with that desire of winning. The same as the Eagles. The Eagles also have that. I like that attitude. Okay, let's see if now recipes can be added. Want to have the Cobb salad? Oh my goodness, this is still happening. Let me search in the code. Is there any way we can search in the code? Okay, I found the issue. I think it's here. But was the problem there? No. think it was. Where is the search? It was in. It was in the main meal view page. As always, is almost always the data structure the one that has issues. It's almost always. Don't tell me that I deleted the file again. Yep. Look at that. I have to undo it. It's now doing that stupid thing of deleting things because it looks like it's pressing it both times. Okay. We're almost there. Almost there. Well, it's my time here is almost over. I'm about to finish the stream. We got to a point. I think that the data structure part is still, we're still here. Data modeling. We're missing suggestions and recipe creation. We will get there. I think I was expecting the data modeling to be a little bit annoying. I did. Yeah. This is something the assistant can fix. I don't think that that's the issue, but let's let it work. At this point I'm in like information overload, so my brain now it's not processing the whole thing as it needed to. I may need to pause now to not dig myself even deeper. But let's see if this fixes it. Not showing it. The recipes are loading. The meals have recipes. I don't understand. This is gonna fail it again. It's not showing the things that it needs to show. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Okay, we're gonna stop here for today. We have a little bit of a problem with the data structuring changes. Of course, I was expecting this to take some time. It's taking longer than expected, so I'm going to continue tomorrow with this to debug the process. I really appreciate everybody. Let me see correctly my back. So thank you for joining me today. I think that we made a lot of progress. We built up the marketing site, the landing page. We updated the data structures to count on participants. So the APIs are working. Now we're dealing with data structure changes in the UI, which seem to be much more convoluted than before. I think that one idea that we'll have for tomorrow will be to abstract away all the management of the meal plans into a single library, where fetching all the meal plans, like a hook even, fetching all the meal plans with the related recipes, with the related participants, all of them are just fetched all together, and we don't have to deal with that complexity inside components and having that like spread across the board, because that is the thing that is making it harder to work with. As always, seems to be like just a problem of refactoring things. Let me see if I can solve this. Thank you for joining today. I really appreciate your company. I really appreciate your comments. If you want to keep seeing more content on how to use Replit AI agents and how to use coding tools from AI agents, feel free to comment, subscribe, share this with other people that might be interested, builders, and indie hackers, developers that want to try out more these AI agent tools. I also appreciate all the private messages that people send me on LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter about the content. I'm happy that this is being beneficial for you. And yeah, see you next time.